So, the Knicks are currently in the midst of one of the best stretches in franchise history and just managed to acquire both Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic for a package centered around Quentin Grimes and 2 second-round picks. This is a pretty significant trade as it not only brings 2 elite three-point shooters to a team that ranks 14th in percentage from that range, but it also brings even more depth to what is already one of the deepest teams in the NBA. While right now, the trade will have somewhat of a minimal effect while Julius Randle and OG Anunoby recover from injury, once these two come back, the Knicks are likely going to look like genuine championship contenders. That's without mentioning the possibility of Mitchell Robinson coming back before the end of the season as well. Things are looking up for the New York Knicks, and to make things even better, they still have all of their first-round picks moving forward and could very well acquire another star in the trade market this offseason if they really want to. For now, though, the Knicks just acquired 2 players who fit some of their biggest offensive needs while having minimal deductions defensively. Considering that they're currently the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference and 2 games back from the 2nd, there's a real chance that we see them become true contenders by the end of the season. Is this feasible though? Can the Knicks finally make the leap from solid playoff team to championship contenders? Honestly, and this might be the Knicks fan in me talking, I think they can. There really aren't many teams in the NBA as deep as the Knicks on either side of the ball, and in today's video, I'm going to break down why I think the Knicks could, at the very least, push to the conference finals and, depending on how the East shakes out, finals as well. If you enjoy this kind of content and are new to the channel, please consider liking the video and subscribing. Liking the video helps it perform well in the YouTube algorithm, and I'm trying to reach my goal of 2,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and any help with that is greatly appreciated. But with that out of the way, let's get into it. I know I just made a Knicks video last week, but after this trade, I couldn't help myself, so I'll try not to repeat too much of what I said in the last one, but anyways, the Knicks have looked incredible recently. Not only have they won 15 of their last 20, but statistically, they've been one of, if not the best teams in the NBA on both sides of the ball since the OG Anunoby trade. Now, after trading for, again, Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks, things are only going to get better offensively for the Knicks. Quentin Grimes was a very fine 3-and-D wing, but he regressed pretty significantly compared to last season and was, according to a couple of reports at least, not very happy with his role, so it really only seemed like a matter of time before he got traded. Now, I gotta say, when the trade first broke, I was pretty upset because it was initially reported that the Knicks traded just Quentin Grimes and 2 second-round picks for Alec Burks, which probably would have been the worst trade of the deadline. But once Bogdanovic was thrown in, it was a pretty clear win for the Knicks, so shout out to Leon Rose for making the right move. In terms of what these guys provide though, they both have one glaring aspect of their offensive game that will help the Knicks out a ton. And if you haven't guessed based off of what I said in the intro by now, it's 3-point shooting. Both of these guys are high volume, high efficiency 3-point shooters, which is exactly what the Knicks need right now. While Alec Burks isn't the most efficient, and he does have the tendency to make some boneheaded plays every now and then, it's worth mentioning that he had arguably his best seasons while in New York, and as long as Tom Thibodeau doesn't try running him at point guard again, I think he'll make a pretty fine addition off the bench. As for Bogdanovic though, this is a move I'm super excited about because he's an incredibly dynamic offensive threat that's going to fit really well with what the Knicks are already doing on that side of the ball. Not only can Bogey consistently create his own shot with the ball in his hands, but he's honestly incredible in the off-ball. Whether it be pick and pops, basic off-ball cuts, or even taking shots off of off-ball screens or DHOs, Bogey can really do it all, and it's going to add a certain level of dynamism to a Knicks offense that they could really use. On the season, he's averaging about 20 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists per game, while shooting about 47% from the field and 41% from 3 on 7 attempts. Now, to put this into perspective on how good of a shooter Bogey has been this year, there are 27 players in the NBA taking 7 or more threes a game. Out of all of these guys, Bogdanovic is one of 8 who are shooting 40% or higher from beyond the arc. And it's not like he just works as a catch-and-shoot player though, because 86% of Bogdanovic's threes are assisted which is in the 90th percentile for his position. He has a sort of slow and methodical way of creating his own shots, yet it works incredibly well and really has throughout his entire career. He's going to be one of the most consistent players on the Knicks already, and while he's likely going to move to the bench once Julius Randle comes back, Bogey is going to bring some much needed consistency next to Jalen Brunson until that actually happens. Things might get a little iffy right now for the Knicks with Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, and Julius Randle all dealing with injuries, but once these three return, I have a really tough time seeing any other team other than the Celtics taking them down. The Sixers are flustering without Embiid, and even when he's healthy, I don't know if they have enough depth and shooting come playoff time, not to mention Joel Embiid's playoff history. We've already seen how a Knicks and Cavs series has gone, and the Knicks have gotten significantly better since then, while the Cavs have made minimal moves. And while the Bucks definitely do worry me a little bit, their awful perimeter defense is gonna get eaten alive in the playoffs, and the Knicks have the personnel to slow Giannis' supporting cast down a good bit. Really, it's gonna come down to the Knicks themselves on how far they make it in the playoffs. We know what to expect out of Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, and really most of the guys on the Knicks when it comes to the playoffs. But it's gonna come down to Julius Randle and whether or not he can finally rise to the occasion. If Julius plays anything close to his regular season self, the Knicks can realistically make it to the Eastern Conference Finals with relative ease. And this may be asking a lot, but I'm actually hopeful because even if Randle shits his pants again, the Knicks have so much offensive creation now with Bogdanovic and Burks that these problems can be nullified. I know this isn't my most in-depth breakdown when it comes to things like the playoffs, but as a Knicks fan, I'm just so excited about where this team could go, not just this year, but in the future. This is something I haven't seen too many people talking about, because the Knicks got OG Anunoby, Bogdanovic, and Alec Burks before the deadline, all without giving up a first-round pick. From 2024 to 2027, the Knicks have 8 first-round picks, and next year they're going to have a $19 million contract from Bogey and plenty of other intriguing players that could potentially be thrown in a deal for a superstar. Who that could be, I'm not going to waste my time on speculating because you never know how things could go. Coming back to the present though, the Knicks have looked like one of the best teams in the entire NBA, and they just got better. In their last 15 games, they have the 7th ranked offense and 4th ranked defense, and are only going to get better once everyone is healthy. Maybe I'm over exaggerating a little bit, maybe I'm a little biased, but the ceiling for this team is higher than people may be comfortable with thinking. But with that being said, I'm going to wrap things up here. I know this isn't my usual in-depth content, but I needed to give the Knicks the praise they deserve. I've suffered a lot as a fan of this team over the years, and it brings me so much joy to see them finally on the right track. Anyways, let me know what you think the ceiling of this team is in the comments below, because again, I could be a little biased here. And if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe so I can reach my goal of 2,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.